Okay, so let's talk Monique and Club Shay Shay. So, several things can be true at one time. Accountability is for everybody. When she sat down and got interviewed by Shannon Sharp, she was calling all these people out, calling them to the carpet on how they have treated her. And her experience is totally her experience. But then she did mention her son, and her son had an experience growing up with his mother. And then he came on the internet and he was talking about his mama. He was talking about his mother, how he grew up. He was the firstborn child, and how he had a mother that is completely different than the mother that his three siblings are getting. And that is completely valid as well. People are out here sharing their stories, and their stories are valid. So some people are like, because I posted her son's remarks on my page, and people are like, why is he talking now? Why is he just like Monique can go sit down and talk about these people and others and Oprah and her experience, that man can sit down and talk about exactly what he went through and how he experienced things as well. Everybody can get aired out, even Monique. I must say that Monique and her daddy, when they talk together, they just, it's kind of weird to me. And how she's always on her social medias calling everybody sweet baby, kind of weird to me. But she and her husband went on to the internet and they responded to Shalom's video, and they had some things to say. And also, Monique went and she was posting text messages from 3 years ago, as if that proves something about their relationship. So that was literally weird to me as well, because like, what do 3-year old text messages prove? And these text messages anyway were so surface level. It is like, does this show that y'all have a relationship, or does that show that you guys periodically check on each other? So
Put up by
My son, my oldest son, Shalon. And this is what I want to say to this. There are some people that are saying, oh, you should be ashamed of your mothering skills. You should be ashamed of yourself. This is what I'll say. Let's let it play out. Because the same ones that said to me, I was crazy, I was deranged, we watched it play out. So just like with my son, we'll watch this play out. And I do want to address this though, Shalon. When you say her daddy, then that's when mommy gonna say stop playing, because you know this has been Uncle Sid your whole life. Uncle Sid knew you before you knew you. So for you to say her three sons, yes, you're absolutely right. He has three sons. He can't claim you as his son because he's always been Uncle Sid, and he knows your daddy very well.
and love that brother. And the irony of all of this is not what is said, but what's left off.
Yes.
See, you're leaving off the fact that the last time we laid eyes on you, your mother got you everything you needed for the newborn baby about 3 years ago. You're forgetting about how I, from Georgia, am talking you through getting your car after we gave you the half the down payment for it.
So here's some of the text messages that she started posting. Hey baby, just checking on you. And then like 3 weeks later, hey baby, just checking on you. And then he responds like 3 weeks later, hey ma, good morning. She's like, yeah. So like I said, this is like 4 years ago, 3 years ago that she's posting screenshots of text messages, and I'm like, what does this even prove? And then here's a long text message from daddy, or her daddy, or how he says his Uncle Sid. Remember today, and this is your Uncle Sid. If you don't change your immature ways, you're going to lose, my man. We can't be mad at you, but we're definitely sad for you. How do you go from putting your mother on hold when generations of family are able to see Sinai on Nicole's side, but you give no instructions to? Yeah, so this is just him sending out a text message, but still calling himself Uncle Sid. I have a stepmom and a stepdad, and I have never called those people aunt or uncle. They've been my stepmom or stepdad, but This just sounds weird. Y'all let me know if how this sounds to you. Now, for some of the people in Monique's comment section, Shalon deserved more respect than to have his stepdad call him nephew and you avoid how he feels. And he's your black son, really, Mo? This person, the son, said that every time he tried talking to his mother, this dude always gets involved. Monique ain't Carlos says, I really love y'all, and somebody paid your son to do that. After all these years, he finally wants to speak his truth now that you are getting vindicated, even though she sat down and spoke about things that happened years ago. Why is she allowed to do that, but he's not? These people literally make no sense. Girl, this is your son. Why is he talking? Laura Faye Shawn says her husband used to be her best friend. So he was there through the first marriage as a best friend. So it makes sense that it was to be uncle to the first son. This person says, messy deadbeat mom. Go and mend the relationship with your real sweet baby. um, Last one, to disregard the feelings and existence of your own flesh and blood when they're expressing themselves, but then cry when adults in entertainment business do that to you is very crazy. Charity starts at home, and since daddy isn't his daddy, he should probably sit this one out. Exactly. Talk to your son without your daddy present, and mend relationship with your son. Then Shalom went to his social media again, and he's like, this is going to be the last time I address this situation. And he does his own video. It's 6 minutes long. And if you're on my TikTok page, I'm just going to connect it into this post. If you're on my YouTube, it's following.
Here we go again, right? Hi, I'm Shalon. I'm gonna jump right into it. I guess the intelligent thing to do when assuming that your son is having a mental episode is to post personal screenshots of text messages that are 3 years old in an attempt to validate a false narrative as if they are some type of receipt. You also invaded the privacy of my daughter's grandparents by posting your receipts. Neither of you should never speak on mental health again if you thought that that idea was a good one. As a person who lives with mental health issues, let me be the first to educate you that there are individuals who have taken their lives, harmed, and also taken the lives of others for doing the very thing that you so proudly did and your fan base pats you on the back for, which is very telling to how strangers will buy into your toxicity. Picking up the phone to check on your son that you believe is having a mental episode to make sure that he is okay, while also making sure that your granddaughter is safe, is too much to ask, I guess. For those wondering, I have gone to therapy on several different occasions, and that is not something that I will ever be ashamed of. I have even gone to therapy with my mother on several occasions. But for those who know how efficient therapy only works when both people are being open. My mother was still in her 15-year-old mentality phase during that time, so I guess I understand why she did not know how to be open with me during our sessions. When a person becomes accustomed to being a victim and others get used to seeing them as one, they live their lives in a state of internalization, meaning you consistently receive another's approach as an attack, constantly putting you under the illusion that you need to always be on the defense, even in situations where there is no actual attack, just an acknowledgement of things already said by you. One should not feel attacked by an acknowledgement of the words that they stand on. You eventually become a passive aggressor. To address the men that had something to say in regards to men don't do what I'm doing, let me be very clear. How I man is none of your business. What and how I feed my family has no place on your plate. For every person that stated I should not have come to the internet, I would just like to ask, what do Club Shay Shay, the articles about my mother and I's relationship, the interviews about our relationship, and Instagram all have in common? Well, if you are competent, the internet. Furthermore, I did not expose my mother, nor did I badmouth my mother. I simply provided context to what was already being said about me, while also explaining why I don't speak to them directly. The reason Those that feel negatively about what I said are just having a hard time differentiating between Nikki Parker and Monique. Please stop with the cornball idea that a celebrity can talk about a family member on the internet for years, but God forbid said family member says any one thing, and you all are outside with tiki torches and pitchforks defending not the actual person, but the idea of a person. These people are in an industry that is efficient at making money off of what is pretend. So, in essence, you are defending a character. I love my mother, and it took the birth of my daughter to help me begin to understand the value of a mother. I am very proud of my mother, though, and I'm proud of the things that she has accomplished and will go on to accomplish in the future. My mother's bad, man. I watched that woman go from Baltimore to the moon. That drive is also in my daughter's blood. Not only is she still my mother, she's also a part of history, and I would be doing my daughter a disservice by not telling her about who my mother is and was. But since those messages that you posted were used as some type of a receipt to validate your false narrative, I figured I would take some time to gather up my receipts to validate my decision to move forward with my life without my mother in it. I do want to thank you all for listening for the now final time that I will ever address this topic, and I will leave you with my receipts.
Now, I want y'all to watch this video from this woman, this content creator that is talking about the Gen X parents. And she has some takes, and I want to hear what you think. I think that Monique is still one of those mammies. She is still like kind of ride or die that puts their man in front of their children, and she is playing out like so many Black mothers in the Black community. But you guys go ahead, listen to this woman's take, and let me know what you think about Gen X parenting. And do you think that they are the worst? I don't necessarily think that they're the worst. I think that some Gen X are breaking out of that mold of putting their man in front of their kids, but it's still a mixed bag. We're still letting some of them still have got to cling on to those men, even at even if they have to sacrifice their relationship with their children. But y'all go ahead and weigh in.
Are y'all ready to talk about how we have to start holding these Gen X parents accountable for their parenting styles and no longer letting them get away with the excuse, well, I did the best that I could? No. As it relates to Monique, two things can be true. Yes, she was wronged, okay, by her peers, and she's trying to hold them accountable. That is true. However, her son feels like he was wronged by her, and he is also holding her accountable. It's simple. 1 + 1 is 2. I already know y'all are going to say just because someone felt wrong doesn't mean they were wronged. Here's my thing. If you as a parent do not have a relationship with your child, 9 times out of 10, it is because of something the parent did. I am a firm believer that it is up to the parent to make that right with their child. Just me, or does everybody with a Gen X parent kind of have the same story? I feel like every single day, whether it's amongst my peers or I'm seeing it on TikTok, people are coming out talking about their Gen X parents. What is it about that generation that lacks accountability when it comes to their parenting, and also like just uses the same excuse of, I did the best that I could, love my mama down, but that was her excuse too. We finally were able to work through our challenges and stuff like that, but like the whole, I did the best that I could. What is up with Gen X and that excuse? I love Monique, and I really hope that her and her son could get some family therapy and work it out. But Monique, I really want to urge you, if you somehow see this video, to listen to your son. Listen to understand and not to respond. We get it that y'all did the best that you could, but sometimes your best is not enough. If I did the best I could in a class and still got an F, I failed the class. Monique, no, just because your son is speaking out about you and your wrongdoings doesn't erase the fact that you were wrongly done as well. So I just want to make that clear. Go fix it with your son. And please have a conversation without daddy, please, okay?